modeling and colorism, definitely a thing.
And why do people think that plus-size women cannot find love?
You see, the problem with the body positive movement is the fact that change is a bad thing.
I need to know what Drake really meant by BBW.
Welcome to Curves Rock Happy Hour. It's me, the Chanel Nicole.
Hi, I'm Monet, etc.
Hi, it's Miss Deepa Doll, and we have our favorite bartender.
The Eternal Queen, Ayana.
And today, we have our special guest, Aisha Williams of Powerhouse Plus and Questions with Queen Aish. Welcome, Aisha.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
So, today's Curvy Fashion Minute, we're going to give you tips. Beauty tips, fashion tips, grooming tips. So, let's start with Monet.
Okay, so for me, I would definitely say if you're going out, you have to have on earrings. I mean, that sets off any outfit. And without them, I feel naked personally.
So my fashion tip is this. Did you guys know that 80% of women wear the wrong bra size? So please make sure you have the correct bra size. You can get fitted. Yes,
That's
80%.
Wow. That's a lot of women.
Yes, 10% is too small and 70% is too big.
Well, how do you know if your bra is like too small or too big?
So when you have cleavage or meat left over.
Side boob and front boob, you have breasts.
If you have bits on your shoulder, that means it's too tight, too small.
Okay.
And a lot of women are in denial about their bra size.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't want to be a G. I don't want to be a H. I don't want to be an I.
Just
This you
accept
not a
what
double
it
D.
is. Right, just accept what it is. I mean, you'll look much better with the right
And it
size.
costs money. A lot of women don't want to invest because it's definitely an
Yeah, that's
investment.
expensive.
Yes,
Yes.
Bras are expensive.
A good one.
So when you buy the bra, are you buying it so it could go in the first set of hooks or into the start off in the last set of hooks? Like I always wonder because they say I think it goes in the first
It does.
set and then as they get older they loosen up so then you
Exactly.
take it over.
I don't follow that. But that's I need to be right and tight, so I like to be secured all times. I buy bras all year round.
I don't know what they say about that part, but
It's supposed to be the first.
What do you do?
The first set.
well, as long as it fit, I want to make sure that it's at least in the middle because
Right.
if I grow a little bit, then it can expand, and if I get
Right.
smaller, then I can make it tighter.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I like underwire too.
Yes.
Do you guys
I have
wear
to have an
underwire?
underwire.
I have to.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have to as well.
Yeah. It feels more secure for some reason. The other one does not.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's holding, but
Right.
not really secure. So what's
I
your
don't like padded bras.
padded? Oh, I love the plump.
Yeah, me too.
No,
As if I need it. No, I mean I don't need it, but
It's
it's
just
like
that
the
extra-
padding just makes
Like
it go.
lifts it up. Right.
You can't get any higher. It's just
Yeah. Like, I'm not a big fan of pads, but a lot of bras come with them.
and not
So,
even
it
purchase.
just
I
depends.
cannot. Oh my goodness, it's hard. It's,
See, that's
it's
because
up
both
and
of y'all
out.
are like,
Yeah, I
Well
don't need
endowed.
extra pads.
It's just this is up
Yeah.
and this is out.
Yeah,
And it's just
it's like,
like
this is
whoa.
too
why-
Yes.
It's just everywhere.
I like when it does that. I be like, hello.
Yeah, well, when you get to this side, you won't say-
Exactly. You're gonna be like, bye bye. How to go see?
That's silly. What is
Ayana?
your
fashion tip.
fashion?
My fashion tip of the day is to never leave the house without any lipstick, lip gloss, or sex. Okay, goddamn. Wait, what is it? Chapstick. Oh my goodness, I cannot think.
you
about
said
that.
lashes and
Yeah.
lipstick or lip
Yeah.
gloss.
Oh no, I was giving an idea to y'all.
I thought that's what you said. Okay.
All right. Okay. Again.
Wait, what is it? Chapstick, lipstick, lip gloss.
Okay. So what is your fashion tip?
My fashion tip of the day is to never leave your house without lipstick, lip gloss, or chapstick.
Okay, yeah. Especially in the wintertime. You don't walk around with
Right.
chapstick.
No,
Yeah.
dry
Exactly.
lips.
And you never know who you run into. You may need, lip gloss.
Your lips should always be popping.
Yes.
Yes.
Your lips are popping right now.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. So,
What on Ayana?
Ayana?
My fashion tip tip, I think, because I'm only 5 foot even, is if you're a short girl like me, Stitch Witchery is your best friend. If you don't know what Stitch Witchery is, it's a dollar store. It looks like a roll of tape. And you roll up your pants, and you put it in there, you iron it, and it glues
Oh,
it
yes,
on.
yes.
That is my best friend.
Oh, yeah, to cuff your pants, yeah.
Yeah, to cuff them up, and then you can take it off. So if you do grow, it'll come out real easy.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Well, I'll say, what about? I have a lot of little things here and there, but if you wear, like right now, monochrome is definitely in.
Okay.
Right, so wearing all of one color. But if you wear all black or all nude or like a neutral color, like that pop of color is good.
Right.
That's a
I agree with
good
that.
thing. So for fashion tip, if you wear all one color, that pop of color is very good for the outfit. Like you have all nude and you hit it with a red bag, or all black and then something like a bright blue, turquoise or something. It just gives it that pop, even though you want to have that classy look, right?
I agree with that.
So yeah, and then colors. Like people sometimes get confused with matching, right? So they either go from the monochrome all matching to, okay, well that does not match. But the rule of thumb that I was taught was that you get 3 colors. So it doesn't matter what those 3 colors are, you get them and they will go. Okay. It won't be off. It could be red, turquoise, and yellow.
Okay, so, but they all have to be like a solid, so you couldn't mix that with a pattern.
Well, see, here's the other thing. Prints, you can do prints as well.
Okay.
But with prints, you don't get 3 prints. Usually,
don't have 3 prints.
Usually it's 2 prints. It could be flowers and stripes, or leopard print and flowers. I will say with anything, a lot of times it's about how you wear it.
Right, I agree with that.
And when I say how, it could be styling, but a lot of times it's about neatness.
Yes.
You know, how well put together does it look on you? You can make something that's crazy. Like, I would never purchase that. But when it's neat, it's like, yeah, that looks good.
I have one of my Facebook friends. She loves LuLaRoe. And, you know, they have a lot of colors and patterns and flowers and things. And it's funny because every day she posts her outfits. And it just amazes me that some of the stuff, I'm like, what in the world? But she wears it well.
Right.
And it's different colors and patterns. And she just throw it all on. And I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
You did it.
So that's it for our Curvy Fashion Minute.
All right, so the internet buzz for today is net neutrality. So that's been a big topic of everything. I'm not sure if everybody knows what net neutrality is, but basically it's the internet getting the opportunity to sponsor or kind of like have a control over what you see or what you don't see as far as content. So the big issue with that is, let's say you like ESPN or you like some type of fashion. Whoever that provider has a contract with, they won't allow you to see maybe some other competitor. So it'll basically be able to block what you get to see and what you have access to. So overall, I feel like it's not going to be a good thing for society. It won't give you as much freedom and as much options, and basically it will put the power in the hands of the providers of information. So what do you guys think about it?
So, well, what I learned was not only will they block, what they'll do, for example, if you have Verizon and you're running Netflix through your Verizon data, what they'll do is they'll slow Verizon down so it buffers a lot slower because Netflix doesn't want to pay that extra money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll load your content a lot slower. And for me, I think it's funny because, I mean, I'm only 25 and I've had internet all my life. I don't remember before when Obama put it in effect. Like, I don't remember what the internet was like, and I don't know if that's a good thing or
Horrible.
a bad thing. Okay, so I didn't,
Yeah.
You know, when I got my first phone, I had the little Nokia where you play Snake.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't remember that time. I don't remember if my internet was great. I don't remember if it was slow or not.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's sort of the problem because this generation wants everything so quick.
Yes.
And so because you can't wait, you know, instead of waiting for it to load, you're going to immediately want to go to something else.
Right.
This is not loading. Netflix, where's Hulu? Because Netflix is not giving me what I need.
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of like a manipulative way
Right.
of getting you to do what they want you to do, or getting that company to do what they want them to do.
Right.
It's going to affect them. And, you know, one of the things that I find interesting is that when we start losing the control, our own control of what we see, you know, our freedom to browse, to look through, you know, that causes an issue already. If you don't interact with someone on social media consistently or things of that nature, you're already going to have an issue, because you only see, if you ever look at your timeline and you're like, why do I keep seeing the same 5 or 10 people? It's because they're controlling what they believe you want to see.
Right.
You know, or if you ever look at something and you're like, you're talking about Target, or maybe you went to the Target website and then now all you see in the little ad section is Target. It's like they're controlling how things should be. And I think that ultimately, you know, it's going to affect a lot of movements, a lot of content creation. So let's get into that discussion about how social media affects, or could affect, or have affected the plus size movement. So what do you think?
One of the things that I know, and I noticed this happened to someone before, not necessarily a plus business, but it can happen to a plus business, is I think someone's Instagram got shut down. And so, you know, the business was saying it's important that you also have a website. It's important that you have a mailing list, that you have other streams, because if something happens, then, you know, you're
All
SOL.
that hard work.
Right. And so it kind of goes along the same lines, because if they are stopping or slowing down the internet, or specifically making you only see certain things, then that can affect business.
Right.
And so, you know, just as a plus community, a lot of us depend on the internet. So, especially social media.
Right.
And honestly, that's how a lot of the bloggers and models got their start. You know, a lot of people weren't found, you know, by going to an agency. They were found by an agency on Instagram, on Facebook. So that's going to affect and impact so many people, not even just businesses, but even young people, rappers, dancers. Like a lot of people are being found through, remember a point in time it was YouTube? Everyone was found through YouTube. So many amazing artists started on YouTube. Then it became Instagram and Facebook pages and things like that. So it's definitely going to affect
And
people.
it's still people make millionaires who make money off of YouTube. So just imagine if they're controlling how, you know, because how they're making the money is advertisers are putting their, you know, content, you know, with their brand and stuff like that. So, you know, internet is the source of a lot of money makers. Oh, here comes the drink.
This is called the Sophista Ratchet.
Okay.
Sophista Ratchet.
Oh,
Yes.
Isn't that something?
I think my bigger issue, well, I would say that right now with the plus community, I feel like that's kind of how the plus community was kind of able to kind of push things. Like the internet and social media has been such a great tool. Has been such a great tool. So we've been able to push forward to designers to actually start, you know, having us in stores, having our sizes, creating our own stores, drawing attention to like big runway shows. I mean, if you really look at it, it's grown so much through social media. It's so many different movements. Yes. And I don't think the plus size movement would be, or the community or anything with it would be where it is if it hadn't been for social media. It's a lot of times where we're on there saying, no, this is unacceptable. No, give us a chance. No, we need representation. And I feel like that's been our way to kind of share it.
Right. And, you know, that's the other thing. You know, we're in the plus size movement. Our goal has been through visual to consistently show that we that we are confident, that we love ourselves, that the things that you say we can't do, we can.
Right.
And so through these visuals and the internet. So just imagine these big companies who still believe that plus size women on TV. Remember when Lane Bryant wanted to do that commercial and they denied it? You know, but we still had the internet.
Exactly.
Right? So, you know, now these same top execs will be able to control the internet. So they'll be able to control our narrative. You know, so if we want to, continue to push that message. I mean, we have such a momentum now. Just imagine if that was to slow down, and now, they choose whether or not they want to show your video, or choose whether or not they want to show your content, and who does it go to, and, all of that. I believe that it would snag our momentum. Some, because we're not because pretty much they're controlling what people see, and the internet is one way where they do still have some control because, whatever, but you still have the opportunity to build your followers up through connection with other people and things of that nature, so people can still see you and you're not being blocked because the internet has slowed down, or they've determined that if you're on this platform, then people won't be able to see it.
Right.
You know what? Thinking about it from an empowerment standpoint, how many women see other women their size, or see other women doing things that are plus size, and so just imagine if they don't have that visual, that can be damaging internally to many people.
Right.
So that's another aspect to think about as well.
Yeah. The internet, we don't really realize how. Because we have it, right? And so you don't realize how important something is until it's threatened to be taken away from you, right? And it made me really think about it actually last night, because I was watching a video that someone had shared in reference to, they were showing Puerto Rico and how things are still a mess. They don't have lights. They don't have this. They don't have that. And I'm like, this is an American country, and they still don't have these things. And then for a moment, I went to a place like, that could really happen here.
Exactly.
And all of the, Facebook and social media, although we probably do need to learn how to slow down and exist without those things. But right now, this is modern age. This is where we are. And so, I just that whole internet situation.
I was just going to say, it's funny because one of my coworkers has family in Puerto Rico, and this goes to what they show you. It's a lot of Puerto Rico that is doing fine, but they don't show that. And so again, she's actually going this week, but she's been getting updates from her family, pictures, everything. And a lot of it is fine. But again, they don't want you to see it. And so that's the media controlling what you see and what you believe.
Right.
So that's another
That's
aspect
always
of
been
it.
a big thing with the media, though. They always try to control what you see. And it's not just with the incident in Puerto Rico. It's a lot of different aspects. Like, if you think about when you watch the news or when you watch TV, like, they control so much content. And they'll say, oh, well, we didn't want to talk about that because of this. And sometimes it's not until people keep bringing the issue up on social media or somewhere else on the internet that they're just forced to say, okay, well, let's talk about this topic. Where as long as they can, they'll try to avoid it. Right. And that's just annoying to me. That's one reason I'm not like a big, huge fan of like some of the major networks, because they try to stop you from seeing everything, and they don't want to share everything as a whole, which I think is important.
Right. And I just, what's interesting also is that for plus size women, those visuals, you don't really realize how important those visuals are.
Right.
There are still women walking around who do not believe that they are plus size, who really do not want to be associated with it. I went to a concert, and I'm always looking around, and I'm thinking, how to bring more women into the empowerment brand, and get them to be advocates for themselves and advocate for other people, each one, teach one type of situation. And I'm just looking around at who's my target market, and I'm basically looking for plus size women. And I went to see Fantasia. And I was like, everybody in here is plus size. I mean, it was more plus size women than it was women who weren't plus size. And they were there. They were in relationships with husbands and all those type of things, like all those stereotypes that you believe. Everyday women. We're talking about thousands of people at an event, and I'm telling you that I see more plus size women than I see smaller women. But for somehow the visual that you want is the smaller women. I don't understand.
It's funny because like the whole connotation as far as like plus size. So I went out last night, and I was talking to some of the guys or whatever, and we were talking about how we had the previous show, like as far as plus size men. And he's like, plus size men? Is that a thing? And I'm like, he's like, 'cause I don't ever want to be referred to as plus size. And I was just like, wow.
Wow.
And it kind of just brought the highlight. And I said, well, that's the same issue a lot of women have. You know, like the thought of being called plus size is like, this is the worst negative connotation. He's like, well, it wasn't that I have a problem with my size. It was more like,
name.
I have the name.
So what
and
did
then
you ask
also
him?
with the problem with, he thinks it's a woman term.
Right, okay.
Like, that's something you refer to as a woman.
right.
A
So did you
woman's
ask
plus
him-
size. Men aren't plus size.
Right. Did you ask him what he wanted to be referred to?
He said he doesn't want his size.
Mention.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. He doesn't really want it
You know,
mentioned. Because so it was just.
He doesn't want to be held accountable.
You know what? I would never forget.
Okay.
I would never forget the day we did when we had promo models at Fashion to Figure,
Okay.
and we had promo models. They had a grand opening. We were trying to get models. I mean, the customers to come into the store, and so we were.
It was their
outside
first.
the
It was
store.
actually their first store.
Yeah, the first
Oh, okay.
store.
Nice.
In Maryland, out
Yes.
in Prince George's County.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, and so we were, talking to customers as they walked by, and a lot of them, most of them were plus size that we talked. Well, everyone we talked to was plus size,
Right.
But they were looking at us like, "I'm not plus size,"
Okay.
and we were like, "But you are plus size. You are, but they don't want to be
are.
So
associated. It's
interesting
crazy.
to me because it doesn't matter if you call me fat, big, I'm just so confident in who I am that I don't let those terms define me. I know who I am.
Right.
And I believe that like skinny is not negative, it's not a negative word, but fat is a negative word, plus size is a negative word. It's only negative because we're making them negative.
Negative.
Right.
Like even when you call some skinny people skinny, they get so offended.
Yes.
And it's
That's
like,
true.
what do you want me to call you? It doesn't have to be negative. We're making it negative.
Make it whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
those things aren't negative. So it's okay if you're plus size or you're full figured, or no, I'm just chubby, I'm thick. No, sweetheart.
Right.
A child is thick, baby girl. You're fat, and it's okay.
Right.
It's okay. You don't have to let it define you.
Right.
It doesn't have to be negative.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. And I was talking to my mother. We had this conversation where a lot of people use the term obese and they use it fat, but they always think of unhealthy. So that's why, to her, my mother, she felt negative about it because whenever you go to the doctors and be like, you're obese, you're too fat for your size or your height or whatever, that's why I just have this negative connotation to where, all right, she said I'm too fat, so I gotta get skinny to make myself healthier, to make myself, when I come to her, I don't have to hear these bad things that's going on in my body. So when I hear the word fat, to me, yeah, I'm not negative about it, but I feel like when other people do, they're related to their health, not their physical appearance.
And then I to piggyback off that, I feel like a lot of the things when we have conversations like that with people, like I didn't grow up in a household where my guardian, my parent, was on my back so much about my weight. Like I remember one time I went home crying, or maybe I complained about my classmate saying something about my size, and my mom was like, either we're going to eat this chicken box or we're going to eat this fruit. You decide which one, because if you don't like it, you can change it. And I ate that chicken box. I didn't want to change it. But she gave me that, the option. And I have so many friends who don't have that support, or not even support. It's just, it could come off as being negative. Like it could get to them, like it messes with their mental, their psyche. So where like they're starving themselves as we get older. We're now, our 20s, our mid-20s, almost 30, in the way that our parents feel about themselves. They, projected them on us, not us, but on right. And
But I think
now
sometimes
they
parents don't know how to
putting
deal with it.
pressure on the child because
like
of
those
their
kids who are
own
like buff.
experience.
Like those kids who are real buff and they doing flips and they doing 6,000 push-ups a day, and I'm just like, that is great. And I'm looking at it, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, why is your kid doing 6,000?
Exactly.
But see, that's also the thing about images, right?
Right.
And what we see. So when on social media or internet, if those things are raising your children and they're constantly seeing these images that are not the images that are normal, that are daily, of course, you want to look like that girl, that video vixen, that one that, that is attracted to everybody. And when I was coming up, weight was never a conversation. That was never even a conversation. I mean, the most conversation we might have had was about hair, but she was also a cosmetologist. Right. So her thing was always better short and healthy, don't get caught up in length. You go clip your ends, make sure your hair is healthy. You don't want long hair with raggedy ends. Or she would say, you are beautiful, you have a pretty face, no matter what you do to your hair, it'll be okay.
Right.
So, if that is what you are, if that is what someone is teaching you, that's when inside, like your mom was telling you, like, whatever you choose to do,
Right.
it's up to you. So the confidence was built inside of you, so that the things that on the outside did not permeate your inside.
Right.
And so when you have internet and social media and those things of that nature raising your children, then those things are what they're looking forward to be and to becoming. If they are constantly seeing like the woman that is glorified is the smaller woman, the woman that is glorified is the sexier woman, then that is who I want to be. I want to be, people generally want to be their best. They want to be what everybody desires.
And another thing, besides the weight is colorism. When you see, a lot of, or this aunt or this sister that's lighter gets treated better by dad or mom or the cousins. That's how a lot of things, a lot of image things get misconstrued, and you start to think that you're not beautiful, that you're not, what word am I trying to use? You're not enough because you don't look like this family member who's getting treated a type of way. It's
That's
just,
like that whole, like, I don't know that K. Michelle song. I know she's been talking about it a lot on the internet or whatever. But just kind of like with that, like about how, like, just kind of owning yourself, like, as black women or whatever, how she was talking about just how she wasn't allowed to make certain changes to her life or to her image, or her having cornrows, that was an issue. But now everybody's wearing cornrows and it's accepted.
Kim
Or the fact
Kardashian.
that, she's more curvy, she has a butt, and then they're like, oh, don't have a butt, but it's okay for this person. So it's like the same things that are being praised in other cultures are not being accepted in the black culture. And it's kind of just kind of like
this is the culture that it comes from.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So
So, we think we can say collectively that internet is important, social media is important. But positive imaging is important.
Absolutely.
And being able to control what you see as well as what your children see is just as important. And we need to figure out a way to keep the movement going. And to keep positive imaging going, because the effect that social media has on our life and ultimately on our future life is big.
It is.
And something, it's not even, I'm gonna say something as small as, but something as a conversation about the change of net neutrality is something that can affect a movement, a future of kids everywhere. And so we need to, if that's going to be a thing, and hopefully it's not, but if that's going to be a thing, then we have to start trying to become innovative now in how we are going to further push this movement. Because once something happens, you can complain about it, but it is nothing you could do about it. So we have to start thinking about how to get around it. All right? So.
Sorry, just one thing. So what the FCC voted is not final. Good thing for that. So I'm encouraging people to call their state representative to, ask these questions and have these conversations, because that does count. The commissioner, who is a black lady, good job, she voted against it. She made this big speech. It's like, this is not the end. So call your state representative, have these conversations, ask these questions, so you know about net neutrality and what the future holds.
Cheers.
cheers.
To net neutrality. Thank you for watching Curves Rock Happy Hour. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Happy holidays.
Happy
Happy holidays.